Hello again, YouTube. My name is David. I'm back with another video, and this is unscripted, unedited, because I don't know how to do those things yet, but hopefully that will change. Today we have the Nitecore TM16, and this here is a new product from Nitecore. Well, it's not so new now, as it's fairly recent. And this one is billed as the world's smallest and lightest 4,000 lumen rechargeable flashlight, which is kind of seems like a bit of a little bit far-fetched. You know, in some senses it's true. The light is can throw 700 meters, and if you compare it to this other light that I have that can throw 700 meters, is a ThruNite TM31. This here is 1,300 lumens, and in here we have, with the new Nitecore product, is 4,000 lumens, which is, you know, a huge bump in emitter output. And as you can see, the Nitecore light is possibly slightly smaller than this ThruNite light, and to boot, it's 4,000 lumens versus 1,300 here. Both of these lights are rated at 700 meters, so when you got 700 meters and you're looking at 4,000 lumens versus 700 meters, 1,300 lumens, you know, there's a big difference. There's a big difference in specs right there, and you can see it when you light the sucker up, and you'll see that it's 4,000 lumens getting 700 meters, and you will go wow when you see this light up. So in that sense, it is kind of the, you know, the smallest, if you consider a spotlight. If you compare it to other products that are billed as thrower lights, high lumen thrower lights, like the Nitecore TM36, that thing is a huge monster, and in that sense, it is true. It is a lot smaller and lighter than those lights, and it is very light for the size. What it looks like when you hold it in your hand, it doesn't feel heavy at all. It's pretty light. There's a lot smaller lights that are about the same weight as this one that's a little bit larger. So what we got here is an old style. It's a tried and true four. We got 4 of the XML2 U2 emitters, and I guess we're getting about 1,000 out of each of those, so we come to a total of 4,000 lumens. We have a dual switch design. We have a tripod mount on the bottom, which is something that's interesting and new. You could, in effect, if you wanted to use this for work, it would come in handy. You could mount it on a tripod and set it up in those dark spots. You could just focus, and it will light up you know, have no problem lighting up an area. So we got, again, the dual switch. We have a power and a mode button. So you use the power button, and we get flashlight comes on, and then mode button, cycle through, and we got here moonlight. That's the lowest mode. And then we have your low, your medium, high, and turbo mode. And back again to moonlight mode. So we got, what, 5 lumens on the moonlight, and then jumps to 280. Oops, turn it off. 280 on low, and then I think it's 680 on the medium, and 1700. 1750 on high, and 4,000 lumens on turbo. And then we have hidden modes. If you turn the light on and press and hold on the mode button, so you got the power button is towards the base of the bottom of the flashlight, and the mode button is toward the head of the flashlight. Press and hold the mode button to go to strobe, and then again you would need to press and hold the mode to switch through the special modes. And here we have the beacon mode. This is a location mode, and then we have the SOS. Press and hold again, and it goes into the SOS. If you're ever needing that, you would be, I assume, glad that you had it at the time. And press and hold again, and it just cycles through. There's 3 special modes in the special function setting, and that is strobe, beacon, and SOS. From the off position, you can get into four. You can get into directly to four different modes. Press and hold the power button, and you'll go to moonlight mode. And then if you press and hold the mode button, you go to instantly to turbo. And let's see, if you double click, by double clicking the mode button, or yeah, let's see, whoops. Double click the mode button and you get directly to strobe. But if you get into the strobe mode directly from off by double clicking the mode button, you cannot switch between the special modes. So you can't long press the mode button and go into the beacon or SOS. So if you're planning, if you wanted to go into those, if you wanted to go to the beacon mode, you can't double click the mode button and then go into the beacon mode. It won't go in. The light will just turn off. So you have to double click. Whoops. You have to, with the flashlight on, double click. Oh, I'm mistaken. With the flashlight on, hold, and then again hold to go into the beacon and SOS modes. And then of course the last mode that you can go to directly from off, so you can go into moonlight holding the power button down. You can go into turbo direct by holding the mode button down. You can double click the mode button and go directly to strobe, but you can't switch to the other hidden modes by doing it that way. And then last but not least, you can just press the power button and go into your saved memory. So whatever's in saved memory, like now I'm on medium, and then I turn it off, and then I just hit the power button basically, and it goes back into medium, and it will always go back into medium. Or if you're like me and you want it to go to turbo, then it goes directly. Alright, why get a 4,000 lumen flashlight if you're not going to use all 4,000? Okay, let's see. So again, with the 5 lumen moonlight mode, it's rated at 500 hours by Nitecore. I did not test these numbers myself, but you get 500 hours in the moonlight mode, and then on low we're talking what is it? Let's see, 16 hours in low mode. So at your 280 lumens, 16 hours, and then jumping up to 680 lumens, it's 6 hours. 6 hours, and then you get in high mode to 2.5 hours, and then in turbo is 45 minutes. So one thing about this light, when you put it into turbo mode, a lot of the lights that you have, there's really high emitter flashlights, LED lights, they get very hot when you run them in turbo mode, and they will get so hot they'll burn your hand. But this light does surprisingly well. I left it in turbo mode, ran a test, just had 10 minutes leaving it on, left it tail standing, not in any cold environment. It wasn't outdoors at the nighttime. It was just in a room temperature, 70-degree room, and I put it in turbo mode and left it on. After 5 minutes, it was only warm. 5 minutes of on in turbo mode, and I watched it closely. It didn't seem to cut back on. It didn't seem to power back. You know, the amps to get a lesser lumens, but I can't guarantee that was the case. But it seemed to stay at 4,000. And surprisingly, it was not very hot. After 10 minutes, it was hot. It was definitely hot, but after 10 minutes of continuously with no fan, just sitting in the room, 70 degrees, it was still manageable. I could hold it in my hand, and it was not the most comfortable thing, but you know, surprisingly, this thing does pretty good thermally. So that's another plus. And overall, I would say I would recommend this flashlight. It's got an incredible amount of distance for the amount of light that comes off of it. For the price, it's really good. When this light was introduced and announced, I looked on the forums and to see what people were saying, and everybody was speculating it was going to be at least $300 for this light, because that's typical pricing, and especially with Nitecore, Nitecore doesn't tend to sort of come out with a budget-minded type of item. But surprisingly, this one was introduced at $199, which is a good price for the light. And I would say it's an excellent value. If you can find it on sale, then absolutely more power to you. But $199 is the MSRP on this light, and that's pretty good. And looking inside, the batteries are held in. There's no internal cage. The batteries slide in directly into the body of the light.